Welcome to Subramani. Many people my age you may have met and would have said, don't touch a credit card. A credit card can be ruinous to your health and your wealth, right? I don't agree at all. So let me tell you how to use your credit card wisely, right? So that is something which you can do. So first of all, I'll tell you what all I have done. I have never used the credit part of the credit card, right? If I have delayed a payment, it may be by mistake and not as a plan. So yes, I have delayed in the past because of mistake, but then by speaking to the company, I have had the extra charges waived off, right? So for whatever reasons, I made a mistake. It was not as though I did not have money in the bank account. So paying off completely makes sense, because otherwise the rate of interest that you pay is something like 3.25% per month, which translates to about 45% per annum plus GST, right? That's not funny. That's quite a huge amount of money. GST would be on the service charges that they levy for every month delay and things like that. So overall you will end up paying a huge amount. Choose the right card. That's very important. Like for example, for me it does not matter what rate of interest they charge on the borrowing, because I'm never going to borrow. Instead, I need a card which will give me a lot of lounge access because of my travel, which is now cut down substantially. I used to travel 4 or 5 times a month to now 4 or 5 times a year. So now the lounge access doesn't really matter. But yes, lounge access does not matter if you are not a big traveler. What matters is the cashback or the reward points that you get, and make sure that you use your reward points very sensibly. For example, I get a 20% off on a particular brand of hotel. Whenever I go, I'll get that discount. Now suppose the rate available in that hotel is about 15,000 a night. I get 20% off, so it is 12,000, but I may be able to get into my club at 3,000. So I have to make a choice of whether I want to stay in my club or whether I want to stay in that hotel and pay 12,000. It's not the 20% that you're saving. It is the 13,000 which I'll be paying to stay there. That is what is costing me, vis-a-vis maybe some other good hotel very near the airport, which I need maybe for 5-6 hours, is available at 3,000-4,000 rupees. Why would I go and avail the discount? So right, so choose the right card, choose the right things, and choose all those. I mean, I get a credit of I think Uber or Ola or something, which is worth 500 rupees. I get it almost every month. So that is useful for me. For many people who don't use Ola or Uber, that is not going to be very useful. Very important, treat your credit card like a debit card, which means only when you're sure that you will be able to pay off in full, or at least 95% of it or 90% of it, should you think of buying something. You want a shirt for 3,000 rupees, not a bad idea, but you don't have money now, but you have money lying in the savings bank account. That's fine. Go and spend that 3,000 rupees, and as soon as you come home, realize that 3,000 of your savings bank account is gone, because on the due date you will be making the payment. If you are not very confident about your staying disciplined, take a check of 3,000 rupees or go online and make the payment on your credit card. You spend 3,000, pay 3,000, let 3,000 credit lie there. This debit will actually come to your account only after a few days. Otherwise, be disciplined enough to say, I'll buy my groceries, I'll pay my telephone bill, I'll pay my electricity bill, gas bill, everything on my credit card, and on the last day make sure that it gets paid in full, because my salary has not been touched for any of these things. The SIP is gone and the other money is lying there, and on the due date I will be able to pay, right? Track your spending. That is one very good use of the credit card, that you can track your spending. You can go and say, oh, how much money did I spend on Decathlon, how much on Uber, how much on Ola, how much on eating out. You can easily do the summary every month. Right, end of the year also, some cards, I think HSBC gives a summary of what you spent on travel, what you spent on taxi, all that breakup. Annual breakup is also available, but every month monitoring it makes sense. Don't take cash advances. Never borrow money on your credit card, because interest charged on that day itself, and interest rates are pretty high for credit cards. These come with very high fees, which could be 3% or 5% of the transaction, and immediate interest, and that interest rate could be, like I said, 30-40% per year. always pay on time. When I say on time, I mean 3 days before payment, because otherwise you may not get credit. These days online payment is possible, but when you make online payment, your bank is debited immediately, but your credit card company may give you credit after 2 or 3 days. Be careful. So if your due date is 12th of the month, make sure that you make the payment on 8th or 9th. Maybe there is a Saturday, Sunday in between or whatever. So be careful. Always pay on time. I would think pay before time. Ideally, if your savings bank account and credit card are from the same bank, there will be a standing instructions by which your account will be debited. This you can do very confidently only when you have spent less than what you have in the savings bank account. Understand the terms and conditions of your card, the interest rate, grace periods, how many days credit do you really get, right? The penalties, for example, 0% APR for introduction, which means they're going to charge you 0. It does not mean that it's going to stay there. It will be for 2 months or 3 months. It could be an introductory offer. They could allow you to transfer money from transfer balance from one card to another, and by doing that they'll say we will charge you 0 interest for 3 months. Very good. So if you have a 1 lakh credit, if a 1 lakh loan lying somewhere, transfer it here, and in the end of the 3rd month you start paying off, or you pay off in full, whatever you want to do. Limit the number of times you apply for credit card, new credit cards. That also impacts your score, right? So don't do that. And a lot of people keep a lot of cards without any purpose. Don't do that also. You want to have a credit history so that you get a good credit score, but you don't want too many cards and then something getting remaining unpaid and paying you charges for it, right? So be careful about that. Protect your card. Use secure websites for online purchases. Avoid sharing credit card details. Don't give a copy of your credit card to your friend or your or anybody, right? So you, in case, suppose you give your credit card details to your friend or your friend's daughter or somebody like that, and then you find on that day somebody hacks your card and swipes it. How do you even ask that boy or girl, where did you use my card, right? So it's very embarrassing also sometimes. So use credit card for convenience and rewards, and not for loans which you cannot afford. Use it to build credit and earn benefits, and to avoid debt traps. Know what is responsible borrowing. Thank you.